Is there intro music? Or are we just
Well,
jumping
there
in?
was.
Oh, well. Hello, good people. Oh,
Oh,
there it
look.
is.
Now it kicks in. No, too late. Too late.
All right.
Hello, good people.
Fuck it. Hello, good people. This is the Geek Matrix episode 185.
That's us.
Yeah, because I think I forgot to say the number last week.
Mhm.
So
It's
I think I'm just
possible.
jumping ahead a little bit. Anyway, we are here. My name is Rob. As always, joining me today is Brandon
Hello, hello.
and Josh.
Hey, that's me. The one nobody agrees with. That may change this week, though.
Ooh,
There's only one way to find out.
I'm very, very curious as to what this means. All right, so we're here as always to speak about these week's DC Comics releases, as well as maybe some news. And boy, has there's been a week for some fucking news, eh?
There has my life has been upside down, so I wasn't able to write any of it down. But first, before we dive into it,
Yep.
I want to give you guys a report on the last of the homework. I read Amazing Spider-Man,
Mhm.
Ultimate Spider-Man, excuse me, and it was good. I just
Yeah,
didn't
don't
have
read
that
Amazing
emotional
Spider-Man.
appeal. Yeah, right. I checked out oh shit, what was the other one? Oh, The Cull. Holy
Yes.
cow,
Mm.
that was so damn
Mm.
good.
I
And
enjoyed
then
that too. That was amazing.
it was so good. And
I'm so
then
glad you guys liked it. It was a really good one.
I'm dude, if they don't, I need a season 2. Just saying.
Me too. Yeah, it literally just wrapped last week, so
Yeah,
everyone's
I know.
hanging in suspense.
But I finally got around. Life has been crazy around here, but I finally got around to reading Ultimate Black Panther. And wow, man, that is really interesting. That is
Right?
really interesting.
Mhm.
And Khonshu, Moon Knight, baby. Except no, because Khonshu's a bad guy, but still Moon Knight, just not Moon Knight, baby. But yeah, hey, good recommendation, man. I enjoyed that first issue.
It's a solid first issue.
Oh yeah.
Be interesting to see what Killmonger's dynamic is in all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that reveal to me might have been the most interesting. Killmonger and Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Wind Rider.
Yeah.
Not Storm, Wind Rider.
Not Storm. Yeah.
Aurora.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. Speaking of Aurora, we got
Roro?
finally Roro, not Scooby Doo. Even though I just realized he kind of looked like Shaggy.
I used to.
That's
my
fucking
hair,
wild.
my hair used to be down to my shoulders, man.
And you even say
Once upon a
man in
time.
like the perfect way. Can you just one time can you go Scoob?
Scoob.
Oh my god. Done. Move over Matthew Lillard.
And I mean, I'm just saying, I do like my sandwiches.
Oh my god.
Anyway, speaking of Aurora, Monroe, that is, we finally got a trailer just today for X-Men 97, the animated series sequel to X-Men 92 back in the 90s.
Can I get a woo woo?
Hell yeah. That ran for I think 5 seasons, maybe 6. I think only 5. And ended with
Five, I think.
I think it was 5. Ended with the death of Charles Xavier. Spoiler alert if anybody was watching it currently to catch up or watching it for the first time, but for all of us people that lived in the 90s, we saw it live.
Mhm.
And this is picking up where that leaves off. Because the series ended in 1996, maybe 1997, is picking up there. That's why it's called
No
X-Men 97.
Shit.
Yeah.
Are you
But
serious? See,
It's
I
picking
didn't
picking
realize
up
that.
right where the previous series left off. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Here I was thinking we were going to end up with some kind of a reboot. Obviously, I haven't been following the X-Men 97 news, but I
Oh,
figured
no.
we were going to get some kind of reboot that was cool. But the fact that they're just continuing the story,
Yeah.
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like to a T. The whole team is there. They got Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm, Beast, Wolverine, Jubilee, excuse me. Bishop is there, he's on the team, and Morph.
Nice.
Did I
Gotta
say
love Morph?
Gambit and Rogue as well?
Oh no shit! Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's one epic moment in the trailer where Wolverine is. I want to say this is when they're fighting some Sentinels. Wolverine is running. Gambit jumps on his back and then supercharges his claws with the kinetic energy,
Oh yeah.
and it looks dope as fuck.
How could it not look dope as fuck?
Right. I won't spoil the very end of the trailer. There's two moments at the end of the trailer that are just like, oh, this is perfect. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I
I'm definitely
can't-
gonna have to check that out.
Can't
for
fucking
sure.
wait. Yeah, definitely check out the trailer for sure. It was fantastic. Brandon, have you ever watched the old X-Men animated series?
I haven't watched the whole thing. I've seen like episodes here and there.
Yeah.
Mm.
I will say it didn't age well, but
Yeah.
in the 90s it was fucking amazing. It was up
Yeah.
there with Spider-Man.
Mm. Yeah, I thought it was
Better than Spider-Man.
little before my time. I think X-Men Evolution was more my generation.
I loved X-Men Evolution, not gonna lie. That I loved what was his name? Spike?
Spike, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the new mutant
OC
they
for
had.
that show. Yeah.
Yeah, I had like a DVD of the first 5 or 6 episodes or something. I must have watched that like 10 times. I don't even think I ever watched the rest of the series. I just watched those episodes. That's how I know it.
Yeah. There was I can't remember if it was in Evolution. I know it happened in the end the 90s series, but I think it happened in Evolution as well, where Wolverine met Captain America.
Mhm.
They had crossovers in Evolution.
I don't remember
could be
anything
wrong.
like that, but
I never
Yeah.
saw Evolution.
Oh, it was actually pretty good. The costumes were kind of weird, but the rest of the show was fantastic.
mhm.
All right. So in other news, we are going back to Saturday morning comics, which is a phrase I coined over the weekend.
Whoop, whoop.
Because there's been a huge influx of comics based on cartoons from our childhoods, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And now we're going a bit further back than that in the decades. I believe it's all the way back to the 60s now. Space Ghost is getting a solo comic.
Shut up.
Did you not read the link I sent 2 days ago?
I mean, I guess not. Like I said, it should have been crazy, but
That's fair.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
I'm
coming
so
coming
excited.
from Dynamite. This is being written by David Pipos with art from Jonathan Lau.
Sweet.
Oh, apparently it was stealth announced in the back of Thundercats #1.
I didn't
I
even
must have
read it.
missed that.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't see that at all.
Yeah, with the teaser for the release May 2024 just has the Ghost Rises, and you can't even really see that. There you go.
No, but still.
Yeah,
I'm
the Ghost
excited.
Rises, May 2024. The art on this, which I assume would be the first cover, is bloody awesome. I look forward to that. I wasn't a huge Space Ghost fan, but
It was cool as hell when
I'm excited for this. Yeah, I mean, my introduction to Space Ghost was Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I imagine. Man, what a show.
Right. I loved Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law. That was my dream.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So Bird Girl is amazing too, just in
I
case
still haven't
nobody
watched
hasn't
that.
checked that out.
I never finished Harvey Birdman, so I really got to watch both. Also, Skybound is releasing or has announced the Energon Universe Special 2024 for Free Comic Book Day, which features 3 stories, one about Void Rivals, one about G.I. Joe, and one about Transformers, all written and drawn by the respective creative teams for each of those books. And it looks to be almost prequel stories for each of them. We did get a little preview of the Transformer story, and it does seem to be the Autobots and Decepticons on the Ark before they landed on Earth. So really a prequel to Transformers. So I imagine G.I. Joe and Void Rivals might be very similar. And finally, what I have, cross this off the list, call it your bucket list, but also the list of things I thought would never fucking happen.
Yeah, I know what this one is.
I don't know who got this ball rolling or like how it fucking started. But who was the artist?
Barry Kitson.
Barry
Barry
Kitson
Kitson.
first posted about it, and then a couple of days later, it was finally actually announced. There are 2 omnibuy coming later this year: DC versus Marvel omnibus and DC/Marvel The Amalgam Age omnibus, both publishing August 6th, 2024.
Yeah. Just to clarify, that's one that's going to tackle all of the Amalgam universe, and the other one that's just going to be Marvel and DC crossovers.
Yeah, like
You could
Green Lantern,
not
Silver
have done that
Surfer, Batman,
smarter.
Daredevil, Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, like Uncanny X-Men versus the New Teen Titans, which I know Brandon is super excited about.
Yeah, no, that'll
Yeah.
be well, I'm just interested to see how they, because I'm usually not a big fan of retouching old comics, but I am actually interested to see how they might remaster this one, because the original coloring is pretty good, but it kind of bled into the pages. Like I have my copy and it looks nice, but I think some of the coloring kind of ruined Walt Simonson's art. So I would be interested to see how they might touch it up if they do.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't get too messed up. Hopefully they do a good job. And the Amalgam Age Omnibus will collect all the one-shot issues for all the Amalgam Universe stories, plus DC Marvel All Access 1 through 4, Unlimited Access 1 through 4, and DC versus Marvel 1 through 4, which was the prequel events, or the precursor event to the Amalgam Age of comics. My mind is fucking blown. My jaw is on the floor. It has been for the past couple of days. I cannot believe this is happening. And I will not believe it's happening until I see it on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's bloody wild.
Yeah.
And
you want to know
thing,
who was behind it? I'm just going to attribute it to George Perez.
Yes. I really do want to believe that the high sales from JL Avengers, the reprint after, which was honoring George Perez. Hopefully the 2 companies kind of saw that and like, okay, maybe we could go a bit further.
Yeah, maybe we could make some money off of this.
Yeah, maybe.
Although ironically, neither of the collections actually collect JLA Avengers.
No,
well, right.
But this seems to be strictly the 90s and prior.
Yeah. My guess would be they have a little ace up their sleeve, like some kind of absolute or treasury-sized edition that will reprint JLA Avengers proper. Because the only problem with the George Perez reprint is it was limited to 6,000 copies, so not that many people were able to get them unless you were able to, cajole your LCS owner into pre-ordering 1 copy for you. And I know some people were upcharging for that. So it's just kind of a pain, but hopefully this will be a wider scale print that anyone can get their hands on.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
There's only one thing I could think of that could come out of this. And Josh, you called it first. Secret Crisis 2030. Let's fucking go. It's coming.
Let's fucking go.
It's coming. Jeff Johns, you old diehard, you're gonna be ready. Secret Crisis, and I'm going to love it. I don't give a shit. It's happening.
only 6 more years, guys. Only 6 more years.
6 more years. That is it. Also, Brandon, I don't know. I think you
Brandon's like, come on, guys.
Sent this. I think you sent this after the show we did last week. Jonathan Hickman and Sanford Green are doing a Doctor Doom against Galactus mini.
I think it's just a one shot, but still really cool. I mean, it's always, when Hickman does Doom, it's like the best Doom you've ever read outside of Lee and Kirby. So I saw that and I was super excited just because I wanted to do more stuff with Doom. But it's just a one shot. It looks like him and Sanford Green are going to collaborate on that, both in storytelling and in art, which is really cool. That'll be a fun one, I hope.
Yeah, I hope
I have become a fan of Sanford Green, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on.
You sure you've been a fan of Sanford Green?
Yeah,
and not Yasmin Petrie.
Shut up.
I had to. Sorry.
No problem. The art style is pretty close to the same.
Oh my god.
just said you poked, I poked back. There we go.
Yeah. Guys, my new favorite artists who are super close: Bernie Wrightson and Mike Mignola.
Jesus, that's not funny.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like others that are like completely opposite. I'm sure I can come up with a list.
Oh, there's
Raphael
definitely.
Grandpa and Liam Sharp.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually,
mean,
yeah, no, that's
like-
pretty opposite. But they're very
Yeah.
close. If you put
Yeah,
them
like they
side by
have.
side, I like if Raphael Grandpa, I think he did do a cover for Green Lantern, and if I put that
Yeah.
side by side with the cover for the Green Lantern, I wouldn't even be able to tell. It would be like that meme from The Office.
They're the same picture.
They're the same picture.
Yeah. And I just have 2 shout outs to finish off my thing of the news. First off, shout out to Pendragon Comics, who are not sponsoring this episode. Just want to put that out there. But Pendragon Comics in Cloverdale Mall in Toronto, Ontario. Thank you, because you gave me this fucking book. I just on a whim decided to go check, and I can't believe I fucking found it. My childhood, my hopes and dreams.
In one issue.
In one issue. Captain Carrot and the Amazing Zoo Crew. The Amazing Zoo Crew, Brandon. Number
Yes.
1.
I was more amazed
happy.
that some of the creators involved in this were
Yeah.
were people
what
that
was
I knew
the other?
that had done other stuff.
What was the other title for Captain Carrot? There was another. Was it something about an arc?
Yeah, that was part of Countdown. It was a 3-issue Countdown tie-in, and it was Captain Carrot and the final arc. But it was
That's
arc
okay.
spelled ARK.
Yeah.
And it tied into the whole Countdown storyline.
Okay.
Where
I thought
Earth
I
26
remembered.
basically died. And I, as much as I was happy to have Captain Carrot, I was also really pissed off that I had to watch their Earth go away.
Right.
Yeah. And finally, thank you.
And it wouldn't
to-
be the last time.
Wouldn't be the last time. No. Thank you to Brandon. You old dog, you.
Oh yeah, this has
Oh,
been
Gifting
like a
me
year and a
this.
half in the works.
Oh my god, I'm so happy. This guy right here not only got me a trade copy of the Sinestro Corps War Complete, but got it signed by Jeff Johns, Peter Tomasi, and Pat Gleason.
And they were happy to personalize it, by the way. I didn't say like, all I said was like, could you please make it out to Rob? He's like the biggest Lantern fan I know. And they added the no fear stuff. So
yeah, to Rob,
were-
keep on ring slinging.
yeah.
I think that was Tomasi, which I'm so happy about.
Yeah.
Right,
he's a really nice
right.
guy.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I don't
Thank
know.
you
The
so
funny
much,
thing
dude.
is like I've met Tomasi 4 times. I've even interviewed him at this point. Every time I meet him, it doesn't. I mean, why would he? He goes to hundreds of conventions, but it's just funny this time. It's like I see you every year.
Why don't you
No
remember
memory.
me?
Yeah. Hey, how's your con going? How was the last?
Yeah, I was like,
year?
yeah. Anyway, well, I'm glad it made it to you, and in one piece. I was a little
Yes.
scared when you said it was damaged, but
Yeah, like
Canada
Canada Post wrapped in an envelope that said, "Sorry, your package is damaged. We found it like this when it got to us." So I
No.
blame the United States Postal Service. You motherfucker.
Hey.
it probably was. Honestly, they
It
treat that
probably
stuff
was.
like shit.
It probably was.
At least you got an envelope with a note saying "Sorry, mate."
Yeah, I mean,
we just get the
it's Canada
package
Post.
dropped
They have
off.
to say
Yeah.
sorry.
We just get it dropped off.
Yeah.
What if it's damaged beyond? Don't contact the postal carrier.
Yeah.
Like I was having a stressful day that day, so I got home knowing it was showing up, and then I get home and I'm excited again, and I
no.
see that like the box is damaged. Like, what the fuck?
Oh no.
And then I open it, like, relief. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, please enjoy. Reread it
Oh,
again and again
I
and
definitely
again.
will. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I will. I definitely will.
Mm.
And this time I can read it in one book instead of
Yes.
2 fucking hardcovers. Volume 1 and Volume 2. No, this is one sold book. I love it. Right, so that's all I have for news. What's going on with you guys? You guys got anything interesting to talk about?
I'm in the middle of a big comic reorganization project, which
Oh
is
boy.
both exciting and horribly daunting. This is
I know
a
how
lot
that
of like,
feels.
okay, I got to pull this shit out and figure out where it goes. And so I'm trying to figure out where I want to put everything, because it's gotten to the point in my collection where I have enough stuff that I can start to backlog by year, which is really cool, but it's
But
also just
also,
a lot of shit.
yeah.
So at
Yeah.
this point, it's like, okay, how do I want to organize everything? How do I want to sort it all? And trying to figure that out. So I'm gonna write up like a little plan and then stick to that.
Me personally,
Best.
I do publisher, imprint, series. Or excuse me, publisher, imprint, volume, and then series.
That's too complex. I usually just do it by alphabetically and
Mm.
sometimes by year, because it's kind of easier, and that way I know how to track it down. But because it's like I'm trying to sort it by year, what I might do instead is like, here's all the books I read in 2023, like, and I this is the part where I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do it, because there are runs that I have that extend into multiple years. Like I have, my bed's kind of a mess right now, but like I pulled all the stuff from Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics, and that's like 2 years. So I'm like, do I
Mhm.
want to put chunks of that in separate boxes marked for separate years, or just all in one place as one complete run? I prefer the latter, because that's what I've done with others, but sometimes it's kind of hard to keep track of like which run is which. So what I might do is I'll have some boxes that are just dedicated to complete runs, and then some are like mini series / miscellaneous first and second issues of series I didn't finish for
You
a
gotta
respective year, categorized alphabetically. I think
you
that'll
gotta
be
set it up to where like this is your DC comic collection, and inside of that
Yeah.
you have Wildstorm and Vertigo, Black Label, but you also have your
Well, these
main
are just floppies.
DC.
These aren't trades.
Well, right, but I said you main DC. You start out with Action Comics, and you got 1 through 512 there, and then Adventure Comics, so on and so forth. And that took me forever to
Yeah.
organize my comics and make that decision. So I don't blame you, not by any
It's
stretch.
just a pain, and I'm
Yeah.
also very lazy.
I used to organize them by week of release.
Mm.
Holy crap.
I thought about doing that because
That's
I used to take pictures
insane,
of.
dude.
Yeah, I used to take pictures of the stuff I'd buy week to week so I could remember. And if I ever wanted to organize it by like month or whatever, I could do that. But like I said, I'm also very lazy, so I
Yeah.
stopped doing that.
No, I realized that in order to do it like that, I'd have to keep maintaining this massive spreadsheet.
It's just a lot.
It's
It's
like
like a
I don't want
job.
to do this.
I know. Need to hire like a goon to take care of this for me.
Yep, we all need minions.
I just keep mine very simple. Release order and alphabetical.
Mm.
So like my trades will have Aquaman or Action Comics and Aquaman, then Batman, then Detective Comics, and so
Yeah.
on. And then I'll have release order like in the trades, Batman Hush, then RIP, then New 52, and so on.
Mm.
And same with the floppies. And like when you have annuals and whatnot, or like a one shot, I'll have the whole run, and then I'll put the single issues that might have come out during that run but not connected to that run in the end of it,
Mm.
and then that'll go into
Yeah.
the next run.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah, because that was another thing too. Because I have it's a little weird, but I have I don't know. Is it? I don't want to like pull it all out because it's gonna derail the conversation. But like for the action stuff, like I have that first arc that he did. I think it's the Golden Age, and then immediately after that, I have Superman and the Authority, because I just, it's important to that run. And you kind
Yeah.
of need to read it to understand the rest of it. So I have that sandwiched in between that and the start of Warworld Rising.
Right.
And then the rest of it is just that run. But then there was also that Doomsday one shot that came out. I forget when that was.
It was just like
and that's
a
just
couple
kind of like
months ago.
floating around. So I don't really know where to put that. So I'm like, is that a part of the run? Is it essential, or should that just be a floppy that I would put in the 2023 pile? I don't really know.
I mean, if you categorize your annuals together, that's one thing. But I like how I would do it. I would just put that at the end of the run, like post 1060. Right? If you're doing it like by writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like by writer or by run, I guess.
Yeah.
Like the complete story.
Yeah.
Wow, that's super complicated.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
just
Well, here
just employing
it's
a
easier if I show
whole
you
nother
guys.
level of dedication than I can do.
Like Green Lantern #0 in the 90s, I have it at the end or the beginning. I don't have it between 12 and 13, which I think is when it came out.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
me, it's completely numerical. It just has
Yeah.
to be, or else I break.
Mhm.
Same with the 1 million.
I just
I put
just
it
like
right to the end.
Yeah, I just like having the complete story because I know if I'm gonna reread it, I want to read it as as it was, as the complete story. So
Yeah.
so this is what I'm talking about. So like I have the Golden Age, followed by Superman and the Authority, and then this is pretty much just the rest of the run. And then I don't have I think the one shot is somewhere over there, but like I haven't bagged these yet, but this is like the last arc. And what I want to do is like this is the complete run, right? This is like a
Right.
fucking Bible. And so what I plan to do is like I'll just put this in a short box or something, and then that's like I know that's the complete run. And if I want to go back to it, I'll just find it. That's Action Comics by Philip Kennedy Johnson et al. And then I can just read it
Yeah.
from there.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Also, if you want me to send
Yeah.
you some of these plastic sleeves, they're great for just hanging on the wall. It's got a little hole here. You just put a thumbtack in, and you can have it on display. Like
I don't want to do that anymore.
I have.
I like reading them too much.
Well, no, like you can take them out. Like I have them bagged and boarded, and then the bagged and
I
board
see.
inside. So if I ever want, like,
Yeah.
I can change it on a whim, and I can read it whenever I want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like it's not sealed in a case like
Yeah.
PVC or anything. It's just a sleeve that you can like have it on display a little easier, right?
Yeah.
I have like dozens.
Mhm.
Like they were all
that's
these
cool.
like page protectors from work they were gonna throw out, so like let me fucking take the whole bunch. Like I could put these to work, save them from the landfill.
I ever find a high quality Mark of Cain #1 or Part 1, I'll be asking you for one of those.
No, I will send them. And if I ever send a comic to you guys, like it'll come in one of these because I trust the protection on these.
I was trying to find one, but I couldn't find because I was gonna send that with the Cass because I thought that would be fun.
Yeah?
Like you could have the mini comic and then the actual one, but I didn't realize how expensive it was.
Oh God, yeah,
I couldn't swing for it.
Yeah,
But
it's a little
maybe
up there,
someday.
man.
Yeah.
I'll get it sooner or later. Preferably sooner, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, at that shop, Josh, I don't know if you saw, they had a copy of the first appearance of Cassandra.
That would be the Mark of Cain Part 1.
Yeah. Oh, is that what you guys were just talking about?
What is that, like 567, 587?
560 something, I want to say. So probably 567.
I have the
probably
photo.
567, I think. Somewhere in that number.
Exactly 567.
Yep.
Oh,
I knew it was in the 560s. So
yeah.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, No Man's Land, $95.
Sexy.
Yeah, like I said, I was like, oh, okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not this time.
Well, I didn't even see it, but right next to it is Judas Contract.
Oh God, that's sexy.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't even notice that.
Is that what 44? The first appearance of Nightwing?
I only see the portion of it. I think it's Tales of the Teen Titans.
If it has, it should be Tales of the Teen Titans 44, and if it has Nightwing in the right cover, or left cover, then it should be that
disco
one.
wing costume, right?
Yes,
that'd be it.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how exciting it was to crack that open when it came out?
Oh, I can't imagine. Well, I can't imagine because I like spent a week trying to bid on it in junior year of high school until I finally won. I checked that thing for every hour for 7 days, and I won.
I will not be defeated.
I was like, I'm not going down. This is my time. It's the only time I ever got it for ever saw it for under $30. And I was like, I don't care. I probably shouldn't spend that much on a single comic, but like, fuck it. If I can defeat my enemy and win this comic at a reasonable price, damn it, I'm gonna do it. And I did.
I'm gonna do it. Excellent.
Hey, Josh, do you have anything to share?
Nah, no, I don't. Things have been crazy, but it's all my health and fighting for Dash and all of that. So same old situation over here. Other than I read a Marvel comic and I thought, that's pretty good.
Which is amazing in itself.
Indeed, because it's not Doctor
Well,
Strange or Moon Knight. So
speaking of Josh's homework, we also had some homework, and I'm pleased to say that despite how
Oh,
kind of
yes.
goofy I think the characters still look, I had a great time reading Thundercats.
Yeah, it was
So
actually
thank you
pretty
for the
good.
recommendation. I'm definitely. I mean, I said I'd read 3 issues, but first issue was strong, and that's always a good start. So
Yeah.
who knows? I could actually end up reading more than 3.
wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. That's we got to start another show, just Saturday morning comics, and just talk about all the like GI Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, Space Ghost. Just go through the whole thing.
They got is it Dynamite? Dynamite even has Saturday Morning Adventures titles for the Ninja Turtles, and I
Yeah,
believe that line is probably
Mm.
expanding because it's got a
Oh, well,
banner for Saturday Morning Adventures.
I'm sure we're gonna do a massive plug for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when that first issue comes out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are we jumping on the TMNT relaunch?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I am.
yeah,
I definitely am.
yeah. I think I want to check it out.
Eastman is
Nah, I'm
involved,
so
bro.
excited.
Oh, is he? Shit. Okay, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
How do you not want to jump on that? It's just I'm there. I am
Yeah.
there.
I
Yeah.
don't know. This is one of those good times where it's like, because sometimes you hear the name Jason Aaron and you go, oh, okay. What are we in store for? But I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, we'll talk about it this week because we have a book from Jason Aaron. But
Yeah.
I'm in a good place. We got Batman Off World, and it's great. And Action Comics is great. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World is great. I'm in a good place.
Oh, is he
So
Jason Aaron's doing that too?
Mm-hmm.
what?
Once upon a
Once
time
upon
at
a
Teenage
the
Mutant
time.
Ninja
no,
Turtles?
Once upon a time at the end of the world.
Oh yeah, no, that's his creator-owned book.
Oh, I didn't know that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Right on.
It's
Mhm.
freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into Action Comics because I've got some notes.
Mhm.
I've got some
All right.
fucking.
Well,
But that's not till the bonus show. So be sure to tune in for the bonus show. Subscribe to our Discord to get access to that, where we will be talking about Action Comics 1062, Sinister Sons #1, Red Hood the Hill #1, which Josh dreamed up out of a fever, and Batman #143. But in our main free show right now, we will be talking about first off Blue Beetle #6. Actually, before that, I was going to jump right into it. Josh, you want to give us the honorable mentions?
oh sure, we'll talk about it more in the bonus show. But this week we had Batman City of Madness #3, Speed Force #4, and Wesley Dodds the Sandman #5. Those are all the honorables worth mentioning.
Hell yeah.
And in order 3, 4, 5. Somebody needs to go play the lotto. Like Rob said, our first issue we are covering in full on the main show is Blue Beetle #6.
And yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fancy that.
Oh shit! Ain't
maybe
that something?
it's a good. All right, so this is written by Wow, you said Josh Trujillo. Josh Trujillo, with art from Adrian Gutierrez, colors from Will Quintana, and letters from Lucas Catoni, with an amazing cover from Gutierrez and Luis Guerrero. So we get a brief intro,
Very cool.
the kind of origin of Javier Basualdo. Basualdo, where he gained Ka'af Ray and the Blood Scarab bonded to his body. He was an explorer in his own right who also read the works of Dan Garrett and was excited to see the pyramid that Dan discovered Kaji Da in. But instead found the Blood Scarab, which bonded to him, as I mentioned, and then we cut back to the fight between him and Jaime. Jaime is struggling to get to his feet as Kaji Dad needs a bit of a reboot period. So the rest of the team, including the two other Beatles, Starfire, I forget the other person's name, and Glimmer. Who's a person with the magic bag?
Fade away.
Damn it. No, not Fade Away. The other one.
Oh no, I was thinking of
Mix?
Glimmer.
Yeah,
it was-
Glimmer is the one that has the bag of tricks. Yes.
Oh, that's okay. I was thinking the one with the scarf was Glimmer. Okay, so Fadeaways with the scarf, Glimmer with the bag of tricks. Okay, yeah. So they are taking on the Blood Scarab minions. Ziamara gets her arm broken by the Blood Scarab, but she tries to interfere while the Blood Scarab is marching towards Jaime. So the green one, whose name I forget, uses her own power, which is, I imagine, very unique to this scarab, and becomes gigantic, which was quite surprising. Then squishes the blood scarab, but blood scarab is able to break free from her hand, punch her in the face. Then Starfire comes in and does what she can to just blast the shit out of Kavre. Blood Scarab, but basically just holding him off while Kajida is rebooting. And as Kajida finishes, goes straight into Legato mode, and Jaime is ready to take the fight straight to Blood Scarab's face. And they have a big brawl right in the middle of the arena they are in, where Javier is trying his best to fight against Kavre and is actually gaining a bit of control. Jaime realizes this and figures maybe there's another way to do this, but that's when Kajida takes over control and Kavre is fighting for control. Javier has just enough to stand still, so Kajida, well, fucking too much similarities. Kajida is able to strike a killing blow straight to Javier and the blood scarab. With an objective completes, he then releases control back to Jaime, who is then fallen to his knees and is just completely upset that Kaji would not let him take control back, and ends up killing Javier. But that's when a Tachyon blast centers around Jaime, and he explodes and disappears. Next, the hunt for Ted Cord. So very interesting fight. Issue 6, end of the first arc. Excuse me. You get what you asked for. You get what you were expecting. Is a big brawl. And it ended in a way that I wasn't expecting. I don't know if anybody else expected this, but like I've been talking about how this is a Sentai book. Yeah. And the classic Sentai trope is the evil extra member who starts out evil, and then the good guys fight him or her to a standstill, and then they join the team and become good. And I thought for sure that's what was going to happen here. Kajida was going to be able to like interact with Kavre and explain things and hack the systems, and then Kavre be like, okay, maybe you're on the good side. Like it already happened with the other two. Why can't it happen with Blood Scare? But no, here he is. Javier is dead. But then the Tachyons happened. And when Tachyons happen in comic books, that only means one thing: time travel.
To the year 2000.
So I think Jaime and Kajida end up back in the age of Dan Garrett when he first finds the scarab, and they see the origins of that, and an older, decades old Kajida, and see the origins of Kavre, and maybe plant a subroutine there that Kajida somehow knew about. That if Kajida wins against Kavre will reboot and become good. And then we will still have our extra member. It's still a Sentai book. I'm not giving up on that. Like, that was just a punch to the chest. I don't think that was strong enough to just kill him. I'm not convinced of that. Not. Yeah, Javier was already on the good side. Like, I'm convinced. Issue 8, he might just come back. I'm curious what this hunt for 10 cord thing is, though. So that's going to be interesting. This book has been stellar. The art was really good. The story is interesting. I'm in love with it. I'm giving this issue a 9 out of 10.
And why don't you go ahead first, Brandon?
No, I mean my review's pretty simple, honestly. Just 8 out of 10 for me. Solid issue. I think I like what Rob is imagining the next issue to be. I don't know if you looked ahead at the solicitation. I
No,
haven't, so I'm not really
I
sure.
really haven't.
Oh, but I do like that. I think that would be cool. Going back to the past and meeting up with Ted Cord and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just another solid book. I definitely agree. I mean, we've kind of talked about how this is a Sentai book, but it's leaned into it. It's even got like the expanded cast of side characters
Yeah.
made up of obscure DC characters like Gimmicks and Fade Away and all that stuff,
Gimmicks.
which I like.
That's what.
Oh, it's not Glimmer.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking of
Yeah,
Glimmer?
Gimmicks. For a sec, because I was like, what the fuck? But I know Gimmicks because she was in that first failed incarnation of the Seven Soldiers of Victory from Grant Morrison's run. Anyway, no, this book just continues to be fun. But I have to say, honestly, like as much as I love the story, this cover for me is what really got me excited about this book. Like, what a
So
cool looking cover.
good, right? Like
Just
it's
dynamic
panels.
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
love it.
love the inversion of Red Beetle at the bottom.
Mhm.
Just a really cool design layout. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me.
Mhm.
I'm with you, Brandon. I love that cover. It's awesome. So is the rest of the issue. We have spoke previously about what it would be like for Jaime if he did have to kill the blood scarab. We were right. He didn't take it very well. It's devastating to him, but he doesn't really get any time to feel it before getting sucked off to find Ted Cord. That was not the right way to say that, but you know what I mean. I have a feeling, Rob, like I have a feeling like Brandon, that you may be onto something. This time traveling back to the Dan Jarrett thing, interacting with the blood scarab at that point could be a whole thing about Jaime and Kajida working together to resolve the fact that Jaime had to kill somebody. And hopefully that's something that we will get to see. The art is pretty as always, and this whole story has just been wonderful. It's so good to see Jaime Reyes in a series that he deserves, in a series that deserves him. I love it so much. I do feel like the fight should have been a little longer, but this issue was a couple pages shorter than your average book too, so not too much off for that. I'm giving it a very it was like 20, it was like 3 or 4 pages shorter.
Wow, I didn't even notice.
But it gets a very solid 8.75 out of 10 from me.
Right on.
Good shit.
Yeah. Speaking of good shit.
Josh, was that your transition? I wasn't really sure what you were
saying.
Yeah,
it is. Josh's gonna hate me for this one. It's Batman and Robin number 6, brought to us by Brandon.
I thought you were at least gonna do like a pun about soccer or heroes or something. Just good shit.
I'm not
just
clever.
Good shit.
Sometimes you need
not clever enough right now for that.
Well, like Rob said,
he was more interested in poking the bear than he was in the transition.
That's I am more of a shit disturber these days than a pun master. That was a pun master in my 20s. I'm a shit disturber in my 30s.
Well, now we need you to do smooth and wonderful transitions. And if you can't deliver, you're out, kid.
That's my 40s.
That's his 40s.
Anyway, as Rob said, this is Batman and Robin number 6. Written, of course, by Joshua Williamson with art from Nikola Chizmezchija. I think that's how you say it. Colors by Rex Locus and letters from Steve Wands with another gorgeous cover by Simone DeMeo. Our issue starts with a recap of all the information they have learned about, oh my God, why did I forget his name? Zach, sorry. Zach, who is the boy that they've been trailing, who apparently has an infatuation with Zaz, but aside from that is a perfect student, a model student at Gotham High, and exhibits no weird or strange behavior, aside from the fact that he's obsessed with Zaz. And so really right now what Batman and Robin, that is, are trying to do is observe a prison transport of Zaz just to see if there's going to be any kind of suspicious activity that they may be able to trace back to Zach. And wouldn't you know it, something like that literally happens as the prison transport is destroyed, presumably by some kind of rocket launcher, which sends Zaz flying over to the side and gives him momentary freedom, where he is able to be not so much rescued, but given assistance by a mysterious figure in a white mask who offers him his trusted knife. But before Zaz can celebrate too much, Batman and Robin arrive on the scene to make sure that shit does not get crazier. Zaz and this mysterious stranger, who we obviously know who it is, but we'll pretend that we don't for a little bit longer, team up a little bit to fight Batman and Robin respectively. But once Robin rips off the mask and reveals that their stranger is none other than Zach, surprise, surprise, and that he's just a little kid, Zaz, in Zaz fashion, ends up taking the kid hostage and basically says, "I'll kill him if you even try anything," which Zach seems all too happy about because he is totally devoted to seeing Zaz fulfill his vision. But Robin is able to get the jump on him a little fast before moving in and has a moment where he contemplates delivering the killing blow, but is distracted by Zach, who is begging him not to kill Zaz, claiming that Zaz is his father and that he wants him to leave him alone, which, of course, old Vic finds to be hilarious because, number one, of course, he's not going to have any kids. He's a psychopath. And two, even if he were to have kids, it would not be a whiny, bitch-ass little kid like Zach, which breaks his heart, but, at least gives Batman enough time to give Zaz a sock right in the jaw and knock him out. Zach is then handed over to the police, where we get a little bit more information about his backstory. Originally a runaway whose parents were killed by Zaz. He had rewritten his own memory to believe that Zaz was his parents, or that Zaz killed his parents to free him, and that Zaz was actually his father. But I think Robin rather rightly deduces that Zach, not Zaz, had access to some hardware that a kid should probably not have, and decides to turn his attention back to Principal Stone, which we follow up on the next day as he has a confrontation with Stone, alleging that she is, of course, not only Mistress Harsh, but also Shush, one of the two. She feigns confusion and saying, "I don't know what you're talking about," but Damien, of course, is stubborn about this and is claiming that he has his eyes on her and is going to make sure that he proves that she is actually one of these people. But at least for now, there's really nothing that they can do to prove it. And Damien gets a little shit about it from one of the bullies that he's been dealing with. But before he can fight back, his father calms him down, even though Damien claims he was not going to do that, or was not going to fight back. The next sequence is just a nice little father and son bonding moment, where Bruce comes in and wants to talk about, I guess some of the bullying he's been dealing with at school. And that's when Damien opens up a little bit and shows him the comic that he's been working on, The Adventures of Damian Vane and the Murder of the Crows. And it's just a nice little wholesome moment where Bruce is really kind of encouraging his art skills. But they're interrupted before they can have some more bonding to go and, I guess, track down Man-Bat, who apparently has triggered an alarm at one of his old hideouts, which, of course, Bruce has access to. They make their way there and see a bunch of crazy bat cultists trying to start some shit. But before they can intervene, who should show up but Flatline? You guys remember Flatline from the old Robin series from 2 years ago? And they have a nice little friendly reunion, Robin and Flatline, before Batman interjects with the very comical "friend of yours, son," as our issue comes to a close. Classic girlfriend meeting the parents moment. It'll be nice to see how that all plays out in the next issue. But this was a fun one. I'm still enjoying this series a lot, and I kind of had some gripes about the art in the last issue, just because I felt like it was a weird shift from DeMeo to Chismez. I liked it more in this issue. I think I just have gotten used to it, although I think I still would prefer DeMeo on the book. But I think he's back with the next issue, so that'll be nice. But other than that, it's just fun. And I'm always welcoming more Damian and Bruce moments, so I appreciate that a lot. So I gave the issue an 8.5 out of 10.
I'm on the opposite, where I do like Simone DeMeo, but I think I much prefer Sis Mazia on this. I like their art a lot better when it comes to this series. I think it fits the story a lot more. I enjoyed this issue for the most part. I can't really say that there's any part in particular I disliked, but there's parts I enjoyed more than others, and that's just like the annual. I enjoy these father-son moments. I think is the really shining star of this run so far. Is like the title suggests, is Batman and Robin being father and son, and is something we've been wanting for a long fucking time. At least I have. I don't know if the rest of the fan base has, but I know I have. So I am eating that up.
Well, I guess just more of it, because there was a time where they had their own book and you were getting a lot of that stuff, and then I think once Rebirth started, they were kind of just doing their own thing.
I mean,
so it's been a while.
Died. like not even halfway through that entire series in the New 52. But like it's been a long time since we've had these nice moments, and this is full of just the nice father-son moments, father-son bonding, and I think it's really cool to see. It's the only part I really enjoyed. This overall plot with Man-Bat I could give two shits about. The stuff with I'll call her Hush because it was Mistress Harsh. That's interesting enough. I don't care about Shush, not Hush, Shush. But if there's a tie into Mistress Harsh, which is interesting enough, I'll take it. So for the father-son moments and the bonding and Flatline showing up and just the cute like Bruce trying to be a good father thing, I like it. I will give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Brandon?
What's up?
What did you think about this one?
He already said.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It says
I just gave my
first. Yeah.
Jesus. I guess I just wasn't looking forward to giving mine. All right. The art depicting the explosion going off and it rocking Batman and Robin was really good. I don't know if you guys know what panel it is that I'm talking about, but I love the way that they did that, the way that they showed the motion. It was really cool, and it did a really good job of showing it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't even remember an explosion.
Let's see. I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, you know what one I'm talking about? Rob, you don't?
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
On I think like the what is that, fourth page?
Oh, so it's early
fourth
on.
page, second panel. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or,
No,
like,
that looks really good. Yeah.
You can see like it's translucent, but you can see like the motion and stuff. I really appreciated that. Past that, good Flatline showed up. I guess that means we're gonna get another fucking date issue. Anyway, the art is great. The art is great. The story is just there. Feels super generic. Very, very, very cardboard tasting familial moments. It feels like really empty.
So it's the pizza of comic books.
It's the pizza's box.
Oh, pizza. It's just cardboard. Wait, is pizza in the U.S.?
No, but I know what you're talking about, and it's like
Shit.
the box that pizza comes in.
Yeah, that tastes better than pizza.
Right. It's just
like fucking sauce on cardboard.
Yeah, and
what's like the U.S. equivalent of like a really cardboard-ish pizza place?
Hungry Howie's or Little Caesars.
Oh my! I actually used to like Little Caesars
Once upon a time.
But it doesn't hold up.
Little
now.
Caesars up here is gold.
Yeah, but down here, Little Caesars tagline, its slogan is pizza.
Yeah, it was up here for the longest time.
They're yeah. I think they're I haven't had it in a while, so I couldn't say. But as I remember, their breadsticks were usually the thing that I most enjoyed.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I don't know. We go to Dama Mom's all the time.
Yeah, I just had Domino's today.
Yeah. We call it Dama Moms or Dama Dads, depending on who's supposed to be cooking. But
I don't know. Feel free to kill me. I can eat Domino's anytime, but I don't think it's that good. I think it's kind of average. They use too much tomato. But that's just
no. See,
I get the
we
garlic
go.
sauce.
Yeah, we go light garlic sauce or light ranch, and it's chicken, bacon, and banana peppers. Yum.
That's a good combination.
Regular garlic sauce, Brooklyn
I'm just trying to keep you
pepperoni,
talking about
mushrooms.
pizza because I want you to talk about something nice and not how much you hate this book.
I'm not gonna go out on forever and ever. It feels like this series is written.
Let's talk about
without pizza. I feel like this series, like most things he writes, is written without an end goal in mind, or he's got an end goal but no idea how he's getting there. It feels like there's some blanks getting filled in as we go along here, and that's not doing me any favors in regards to the book. This is not his worst effort, and the art sure helped a lot. I will give this a 6 out of 10. And seeing how I am 100% unequivocally the outsider on that book, I'm going to move into the Batman adjacent Outsiders book myself. Outsiders number 4, written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, art by Robert Carey, colors by Valentina Tadeo, letters by Tom Napolitano, and the cover is from Roger Cruz with Adriano Lucas colors. This book has a lot of pages covering a little bit of things, but it does it perfectly. It's an origin story. We got New Century babies. Well, at least one. And
well, I'll get into that later. But I have some thoughts. Not bad thoughts, just thoughts that I think are interesting.
I can't wait to hear him because your memory is way better than mine, and you've probably read it a whole lot more recently. But to continue, we've got at least one so far. She goes by the name Jenny Crisis, and her powers are basically that her emotions affect the world around her. And I don't mean that if she's depressed, her neighbor gets a sniffle. I mean, the whole entire world gets affected and in incredibly major ways. We first meet her at her birth at the turn of the century, right at midnight, right on schedule. Her birth resulted in the Y2K computer bug going away. Later, we see her experience all kinds of emotions, from rage to being in love. And that ends up with tsunamis and inspiring artists across the world to create masterpieces. There's a true century baby here. The outsiders are aware of her, drummer is anyway, and she convinces the rest to go after her. Batwing and Batwoman give chase while drummer waits her out. They talk, drummer and excuse me, and Jenny, and things get rocky, but it seems to end on an okay note. I can't really tell for certain, but it does appear that Jenny leaves the group and walks away. And it also appears like drummer may or may not have followed. Little keynote here. People who haven't gotten into these century babies before, they're not really human. And they don't have souls. It's definitely interesting. And if you're not reading this book, you're broken, like deep down inside. And this book,
you don't have a soul.
Book might fix it. I have been waiting for this since issue number 1, man. So awesome. This isn't just long awaited for me, but also very, very satisfying. We've got Carey and Tadeo creating the perfect art for the series, and I think the story is just great so far. We've got a long way to go, and they've got a lot of room to mess shit up. But right now, I'm pretty excited. We've got a mention of the Authority in here. We've started with the Century Babies, and I'm certain we'll be getting more of all the different facets that this book has brought us. Okay, I kind of feel like I'm gushing a bit because, well, planetary, duh. But Yeah, I am gushing. 9.25 out of 10, and I'm shutting up now.
Mhm. I mean, no, feel free to say more if you
It's
have
fucking
more.
wonderful, guys.
Yeah. This was a good one. Definitely. I know what it's trying to homage. Very iconic issue of kind of the Authority. I would say more the Authority than Stormwatch, but it's the famous Jenny Sparks origin story, which is like perfect.
Mhm.
Like right down to the format. Obviously, they know what they're doing. Um, but aside from that, no, it does a job. It does its job, and it does it very well. Um, the only it's not really a gripe, really. Like I enjoyed the issue quite a lot, and the writing is still very strong, and I'm engaged in the story. Really, the only thing I had to talk about, so I'll just give my score, which is an 8.5. Really, the only thing I had to talk about was just this concept of Jenny Crisis. Because anyone who knows Jenny Sparks, more specifically the lineage of Jenny Sparks across each respective
Mhm.
century, knows that each title is supposed to be kind of related to the, I guess, major innovation of the respective centuries. So Jenny Sparks has the power of electricity because one of the driving forces of the 20th century is electricity,
Mhm.
right? Jenny Quantum has the power of, I guess, quantum dis slash re assemblance or something like
Quantum
that. They didn't
mechanics.
really go into it too much, but yeah, it's sort of like her powers are obviously plugged into the idea of nuclear slash atomic energy, which of course driving force of 20th century innovation. So I got what they were going for because I was like, oh, that's really clever. Like they're trying to, if we're talking about major players in, I guess, 21st century history, things that have shaped the world. Obviously, crises have been at the center of
Most
everything,
of it, yeah.
since 2001. But I don't know how well it works. Like I like the idea of it. I like the idea that you're plugged into something that shapes the 21st century. Obviously, a crisis is an example of that. But I just don't think it works as well as something like atomic quantum energy because that for me feels more in line with what the previous examples of Jenny had access to. And I don't know. I think it's clever. I think it works specifically for the DC universe because obviously they know their crisis better than anyone. But I don't know. I saw that and I was like, that's smart. I don't think it works. I think it was a clever attempt, but I don't know. I think you might have just swallowed your pride and gone with the quantum stuff in the past. But that's just me. Other than that, it's fine.
Yep, you're right. That's just you.
Did you give a score?
Yeah, I said it. Also,
Excellent.
they
Okay.
mentioned Jenny Quantum because she should be. Well,
They do.
actually, that's a
Yeah.
whole other can of worms because I don't even know what is in this new canon of some Wildstorm stuff and some not Wildstorm stuff. I don't even know what happened and what has happened. I'm not gonna try and figure that shit out.
We're
But
all
they
learning
mention
as
it
we
and they're
go.
just like, there was a Jenny Quantum at some point, but she's not around anymore. So I don't know. So I'm
She
like,
was
what
around for
what
the
the
last
fuck?
century.
We're still in the 21st century. She was the
Oh
spirit of
yeah,
the
she was
21st
the
century.
21st century. That's right.
Yeah, that was the point. So I was like, unless like I think it would have worked better maybe if they'd done like a spirit of the decade thing, but obviously that's not what it is. So I don't know. I was just like, it just seems like a weird thing. Like, did she just go away? Where did she go? That's not really how it works. I don't know.
Something happened.
I guess, or maybe she's in
We'll
another
find out
universe
what.
and doesn't realize there's another spirit of the century claiming her name. Who knows?
Uh-oh. Planetary wars. Brandon just
Well,
called
that wouldn't really
next.
work anyway. That's kind of a stupid idea, but yeah. Anyway, I was like, I think that's a cool attempt. I just don't know how much it works in line with other spirits of the century.
We shall see.
So I suspect that the planet, like the Wildstorm universe, like where Planetary took place and all that, is in the multiverse. It's a separate universe, and that drummer is from that universe and ended up in this world and
Mm.
realizes that there's some similarities and figures that she will use her knowledge of all that went on in her world to try to help this world, knowing that, you know, Sentry babies are a thing. She knows Jenny Quantum and Jenny Sparks from her own world and knows that, okay, there's going to be a Sentry baby here. Let's find it.
Now that would make sense. That would explain why there's a different spirit of the century.
Yeah.
Which
That's
no,
what
that like I
think.
think that would be cool. I just I don't know. I
Because there's a lot of mystery in Drummer's past
yeah.
that Lansing and
Jenny
Kelly haven't
Quantum
explored
was
yet.
freaky.
I just I don't know how much the idea of crises being the driving energy of the century works.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
think it's so
That's
much
just a
the
personal preference.
crisis.
It's fine.
worldwide crisis tied to anxiety and
Yeah,
I
it's
get it.
it's more
I get it.
so that if you think about
uncertainty.
the stuff that's affecting our planet right now,
Mm.
since the 21st century started, we've as a people have come to recognize depression and anxiety as a mental state and illness a lot more as an open discussion. There's a lot more programs to help something like that, and it's not just whisked under the rug like it was in the 20th century. Plus, add on to the fact that we are dealing with a global warming crisis, a climate crisis that is affecting the weather patterns all over the bloody planets. So when Jenny Crisis cries, it floods on the other side of the world. When she's happy, there's bright sunny skies. Like, her idea of her powers as Jenny Crisis is tied into exactly how you're describing it. It's not only emotional, but it's in what's affecting the planet exactly. It's not even just the idea of crisis, but the fact of
like
how you're just
worldwide crisis, not like DC universe
Yeah,
crisis.
I just I think
not even the idea of a crisis. Like I think that's just the name they picked, but I
yeah.
don't think it's necessarily her powers are tied to the idea of a crisis. It's tied to what can be described as a crisis,
Mhm.
but you know, people going ape shit and scared, that could be a crisis. People just going wild and shooting up people all over the place, that could be a crisis. A flood or a tornado, that's a crisis. And that's exactly what their powers are affecting.
Yeah. Well, it's just I get that. Those are more negative changes, whereas I think a lot of the other stuff have both negative and positive qualities. And I
Mhm.
think I don't know. I get it. I do understand that. I think honestly, what would have worked, and I know it would have been a ripoff of Warren Ellis's The Wildstorm, which is the reboot they did 6 years ago. But I think what would have worked better is because they did a updated version of, I think she might have called herself Jenny Sparks, but it's something else. But her spirit of the century, I guess, power was technology, which I thought was really smart because I'm like, oh my God, like the most driving innovator of all of development for the past 20 years has been technology, has been the internet, has been all of that stuff. So I know it would have been a ripoff, but personally, if it wasn't going to be quantum energy, I think that would have been the smarter route to go. But that's just me. I think it shouldn't be necessarily like, yes, there's worldwide financial and economic crises and health crises and global warming crises, but those are more negative things. I'm talking about things that have both disastrous but also positive implications that push humanity further, because
Mhm.
it should be
That's
also nice, though.
that is what a century baby is supposed to do, is help
Yes.
advance civilization. You got a good point
Well,
there.
but their
Yeah.
powers are also something that is tied to a major, I guess, development that also helps advance civilization, but also
That's true. And I
hurts
mean,
civilization.
we saw her fall in love, and at the same time, that caused artists across the world to create or finish masterpieces. And we'll have to see where they're able to take us. We'll have to see. Jackson Lansing, don't mess it up.
Anyway, that's I don't want to go on a tangent. I was like,
Fair
I'll
enough.
say it one more time. I thought it was a clever idea, it's a clever attempt, but it didn't quite pass. It didn't get the A from me, so I'm sorry. You got a B plus. That's good enough. That's like close to an
That's
A.
good. That was my perfect.
It's like when you write a paper for a class or something, right? That and your professor's like, I don't think you hit the point quite right, but it was an interesting attempt, so I'll give you credit for that. So it's like that's how I feel.
It's like, ouch.
Fair. Yeah. Now speaking as an outsider to outsiders, or at least an outsider of Wildstorm, I'll say, I enjoyed it quite a lot. I'm definitely invested into the story. I do not know as much as you guys do, so that gives me that kind of fresh outside perspective. Um,
Haha.
yeah, like there's no other way to describe it. No pun intended, but pun is definitely welcomed.
Mm.
Kind of perspective that's I'm not combing through things with a fine tooth comb, trying to find the similarities and this worked and this didn't. So like I can almost enjoy it more because I've been where you guys are, where I'm like analyzing a story so tightly, like okay, I know where they want to go with this, so let's see how they do it. But I'm just able to just like sit here and enjoy the ride, and
I'm trying to
as a ride is fucking
yeah.
awesome.
I'm trying to actually less, but some habits die hard. Old habits die hard.
It's in our nature as geeks to do that. All right, I
Yeah.
wouldn't even fight against it. Just let the actuallys come.
Oh my god.
Actually,
Let it flow through you.
let it flow
Yes.
through you like
the
rampant
Force.
emotions.
The geek force.
The
I'll
geek
let it flow through me.
force.
I'll let the actually come to my lips.
Yes, feel the
Naturally.
hate. Let it
I
flow
get it.
through you.
It's
Actually.
like, it feels so good.
I'm
Feels
gonna
so
try
good
that
to
again.
say, and I feel no shame.
It must be great to be an American sometimes, because like when I do that, when I say actually to someone and I correct someone, I get that like geek satisfaction and it feels so good. But when I'm finally done talking and I see their face, I just feel bad.
Really? Oh,
And that's probably a Canadian thing. I don't know
maybe a little
if
bit.
I don't know if
Maybe a
y'all
little bit.
Americans get that.
Feel bad for talking to people. I
No,
mean, I
feel
don't.
bad about
Depends
telling
on the
someone they're
extent of
wrong.
it. Yeah, it depends on the
Oh.
extent of it. If it's like a really big correction, sometimes I'll be like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to like break your soul." But
Yeah.
if it's like a minor thing, then I'll just say that shit and leave it there.
Like I'll
Okay.
hear people on the street, on the bus, like talking about comics or superheroes, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
so like you can tell that they're only watching the movies, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, this is a clear part of the character. I'm like so badly want to be like, actually, no, it's not. Okay, you don't get the character, and I need to bite my tongue every time.
They
It's
did that to
so
the characters so
fucking
simpletons like
Mhm.
you could understand them.
Yeah. You fucking plebe.
Right? Now I'm gonna try that transition I did just a second ago again because it was amazing.
Yes, quickly.
Um,
Art was fantastic. 8.5 out of 10.
Oh shit! Okay, I didn't even realize you hadn't given your score yet. I
Yeah,
thought we were just.
I was done with my review. I just hadn't given my score yet, so that's it. 8.5 out of 10. Sorry, go on.
I lost it now. I said something
Shit.
about rampant emotions.
Yeah. Oh well.
Damn.
That's it. Speaking of rampant emotions, this book is full of them. This is Green Lantern number 8, numero 8, which I can't wait to come in the mail because I ordered that Kyle Rayner cover and I can't fucking wait.
Man,
Rock
I'm
Shaner one, right?
Yeah.
super jealous of that shit
Yes.
right there, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked. It hasn't
I
shipped
would
yet. And I'm
be.
getting worried. But last time I ordered covers, it took 3 months to get here.
That's too long.
Wow.
Way too long. But
Have
they
you
had
looked
like
at
shit
Big Boy Toy? What's it called? Big
Big
Bad
Bad
Toy
Toy-
Store?
Yeah, that's where I ordered it from initially. That was the Green Lantern Sinestro covers, the core symbol covers for issue 1.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's where I
And it-
ordered it from.
And it took 3 months?
Yeah, they had a printing issue.
Oh, I see.
Dadgum, I
Yeah.
guess so.
It took a while for it to actually show up to them, and then when they finally got their copies, they saw that the print job was just a piece of shit, so they
Mhm.
sent it back to get reprinted properly, and that's why it took like 3 months to get here.
Jeez.
Yeah. But when it did show up, the 2
It
covers
was
I got
worth it.
were so beautiful. They are in plastic sleeves right now to be hung up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so this is Green Lantern number 8, written by Jeremy Adams with art from Amanke Nahuelpan. I do miss Romanico, but the Amanke is a welcome replacement. Colors from Romulo Fajardo Jr. and letters from Dave Sharp, with a beautiful main cover from Steve Beach. And
That's gorgeous.
I
For the
will
most
shout
part.
out
That
again.
Kyle looks kind of scary.
Yeah, the Kyle looks kind of weird. Almost like he's wearing a Hal mask with bat
Yeah.
ears. It's really fucking
For
weird.
some reason, I think with
You're
him
really
not
fucking
having
weird.
the whites in his eyes, it makes him look kind of evil. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it's not great.
So uncomfortable.
Also, as I mentioned, a beautiful variant cover from Evan Doc Shaner, as well as many more that I will not go into every one, but I really want to shout out that Doc Shaner cover because it's gorgeous.
Listen, Hal Jordan looks a little too pissed off. Kyle
Yeah.
looks a little too happy, and Kilowog looks a
evil happy.
little too much like the bad guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Oh, Davy Jones?
Davy Jones.
Or the Kraken or whatever. Yeah. Kilowog actually looks fucking good here.
Yeah, no, that Kilowog is
Kilowog looks
great.
amazing.
It's
That was
just
just there for
yeah.
the joke.
It's just the Kyle.
Yeah.
He just looks evil. He looks too
Yeah.
evil.
He does look, honestly,
It's also because
with that
one half of
particular
his face is
smile,
shaded.
Yeah.
with the way that they drew his smile, and more particularly the way his hair is, he's coming across as Jokerized.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a very sinister looking smile.
Exactly.
And a
That's-
Joker style haircut, really.
Which honestly, maybe I don't know. I don't want to like speculate on some shit, but maybe more revealing once we get to the backup story, because I'm sure you noticed some parallels between that and another iconic story of an evil lantern.
Let us continue.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, we'll get into that. So we open up on Odim, which take place in the past, where we get Razor's retelling of what happened to the blue central power battery, where he was just meditating on Odim, and all of a sudden it blew the fuck up, which devastated the planet, killed many, but him and the remaining surviving Blue Lanterns did what they could without their lantern energy, because their central battery is gone, to try and just save the planet as best they could. But then they were attacked by pirates who just laid waste to fucking everything. Razor
Davy
was able
Jones
to
again.
Razor was able to stow away on one of the pirate ships until they got close to Earth, where they were supposed to be delivering some weapons, which I think we heard about a couple of issues ago from Sinestro and the cronies he was running with. And he was able to escape and made his way across the planet till he found Hal Jordan, where he ended up with now. And with that news out of the way, Razor also reveals that the power batteries on Yzmalt and New Korugar, the red and yellow lanterns, respectively, have also been eliminated. And he believes that someone is targeting central power batteries all over the universe, and says we need to deliver this news to the Guardians right now. Hal reveals that the United Planets are in charge, and Razor goes, we should tell them, use that ring, let's go the fuck up to space right now. Hal reveals that he can't do it, so Razor says, maybe you're just not trying hard enough. So Hal goes and tries more. Tries a few more times, maybe his willpower is just not strong enough, but no matter how many times he tries, no matter how hard he wishes for it, his ring will not get him past the atmosphere. So he goes back to the trailer, finds Razor drinking a root beer. Well, I mean, it's a cola, but he calls them Mountain Dew later, so
Right.
I'm confused.
This
But
dew of the mountain.
this dew of the mountain. So as Hal and Razor begin to try and figure out a backup plan, in drives Carol Ferris, who is very worried and says, "Look, you could have fucking told us where you were." And then she meets Razor, and Razor reveals that to kind of let slip in front of Carol that they're heading off into space. And Carol asks what's going on, and Hal says, "Is there a reason I should stay?" Carol says nothing, and then leaves. But that's when Hal has an idea, gets Razor in a bubble, and they head off to Greenwich Village in New York to none other than Madame Xanadu, who was waiting for them. She reveals that she also tried to help excuse me, Sinestro get off planet weeks prior, as she figured a rogue lantern like that should not really be on the planet, and helping him get off planet is kind of a necessity. Um, and with that, she knows what's going on with the lantern energies and the emotional spectrum, and reveals a couple of things to Hal: that there is something different about his ring, and that the green guards the secrets. You have to go back to the place that you felt power, which was somewhere in South America, I believe, when he was fighting Sinestro. Oh no, it was in Spain, and he felt an energy surge, which really power boosted his ring. I think it got up to like 200% energy or something like that. But
Something
just
along those
then,
lines.
an explosion happens right into Madame Xanadu's parlor, where we get 3 of the United Planets lanterns here to capture Razor. Is mistaking Hal for one of them, but then realizes his uniform is not the standard uniform that they are wearing, which looks kind of bloody weird if you ask me.
Indeed.
And realizes his ring is not part of theirs, and he's a rogue lantern as well. So they bring the fight straight to him. Razor's doing what he can without any lantern energy, throwing rocks at a rhino. It's not fucking helping. They go after him, and Hal tries to take on 3 lanterns at once, but this is when one of the lanterns transfers his green energy into yellow energy, and one of the other lanterns fighting Razor goes from green to blue.
Oh, excuse
And
me. Sorry, guys.
no, you're good. And that just makes quick work of Razor and Hal right away, as they're both caught off guard. The 3 lanterns take Razor and fly off into space, vowing that they will get some reinforcements and let the United Planets know that there's a lantern in 2814, which is quarantined. He should not be there, so they're going to figure that shit out. Xanadu does reveal one more time to Hal that if you go to this place of power with the green, it will give you the answers you seek. I am sure of it. So he heads off to Spain and finds the place that he felt the power surge. The ground gives way underneath and opens into a massive hole. And that's where the issue ends. Next issue, The Secret of the Green. I have a lot of fucking theories, but before we get into that, it's a blast from the past in the 1990s. This is Green Lantern Backup featuring Kyle Rayner. Good talk. Story by Ron Mars with art from Dale Eaglesham, colors from Alex Guimarães, and letters from Dave Sharp. Kyle is reminiscing about his first adventures in New York, where he was the only Green Lantern in the universe, and he had to take on a giant robotic alien that was attacking in Midtown. And it felt good that he had this job. He was a hero, and nobody else was there to help pick up the slack. But now everything is so different. And then we see that he's drinking out of Radu's coffee and talking to Alex. But this is all a construct, and someone for him to talk to and just reveal his thoughts to. How as much as he's happy, there's a core, and he feels like he still belongs there. At the same time, everything's so different, he doesn't know what to do when that, there's something is not quite right. Something feels wrong with the emotional spectrum, and he doesn't know how to fix it. But that is when Sojourner arrives, and Joe Moline asks Kyle what's going on, if he's okay, and that all the other lanterns have been concerned. But she also then reveals that her and a few other lanterns have an idea of what's really going on with the United Planets and the whole Lantern takeover, and Kyle's not going to like it. And with that, the pair take off to whatever their next destination is, as Kyle asks Joe to tell him on the way. And next month, in part 2 of this 3-part backup, we will see Jessica Cruz, which I think is very exciting. So, back up first, Brandon, I see where you're going with
Yes.
that. uh,
You got it. I'm glad. But also,
you're
it was in
talking
the
about
interview that I sent with Ron Mars, and it was like I didn't even notice it at first.
that it was written by Ron Myers.
Oh no, it was. I sent a little while ago. I sent an interview with Ron Mars, and I think Jeremy Adams talking about this issue,
Right.
and Ron Mars was talking about this backup and basically saying that Kyle was in a similar place to spoilers Hal Jordan in
Mm,
Green Lantern 48, where he's talking to construct versions of all the people in Coast City.
yeah. I mean, similar idea, I guess, but very different circumstance where Kyle
Yeah.
was just using it as a sounding board, where Hal was trying to bring the city back to life.
But both of them
It's
are
a little different.
processing their, I guess you could say, emotions by using people that they know from the past who are, of course, deceased.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, very different conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, it is an interesting parallel, and the fact that they were both written by Ron Mars, I think, is no mistake. So art throughout, I will just say right now, was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Dale Eaglesham's art could have been better in certain places. There was a clear contrast I felt between the flashback to the early days of New York and the present day. At least with Kyle's costume, it looked oddly different. I'm not just talking about the symbol on his chest. Um, it's kind of interesting how that worked out. Maybe that's a testament to Eaglesham, uh, like as he drew the whole backup, that he was able to show that difference in time period. But it was a little bit distracting for me. But I still enjoyed it throughout the backup. I'm hoping we get a lot more answers by the end of this. And knowing what the backup is about now, it's not just a Kyle story, it's tying into the main story. And if Ron Mars is getting into the game with Jeremy Adams and PKJ about building out this Green Lantern mythos and the overall cosmic side of DC, I'm all for it. If Ron Mars is on that team, I'm so fucking happy. Because it sounds like this backup is going to give us a lot of answers about the United Planets and what's really going on. And as for the main story, I didn't see that coming. This stuff with the lantern batteries going kablooey, I'm thinking that's the United Planets. It's gotta be. They're trying to consolidate all these energies. If you figure,
That's exactly what I was thinking, and that's
yeah,
why it's gonna piss Kyle off, is because they're gonna go some like United Planets form of White Lantern.
we'll see. Because like as it stands right now, they have Green Lanterns using yellow and blue energy, but it's just the color of their suit and ring changes. Like the symbol's still there, it's still green.
Mm.
Um, it's interesting, and I have noted that this whole time, not a single one of them, I think, either in War Journal or this, not a single one of these United Planets lanterns have been called Green Lanterns. They've been
Yeah,
called
they're just
United
lanterns.
Planets lanterns,
Yep.
and
And
that's obviously very deliberate.
yep, and Hal even clarifies that in this issue as well, saying he's a Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Uh, so some very interesting stuff going on. Um, yeah, if you figure as Razor reveals that the blue, yellow, and red lanterns are the power batteries are already gone, and then we see yellow and blue energy being used here, that's gotta be a connection.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so it definitely feels like the United Planets are up to no good, which I think we knew about the entire fucking time. Also,
Mm-hmm.
this thing with Xanadu and the Secret of the Green.
Never up to good.
Do y'all remember the New 52 series called Earth 2?
Yeah.
Yes, and I wasn't very good.
You can go
Hey,
fuck
now
yourself.
oh,
You can go spend some time on Earth 3, Brandon.
it wasn't wow, that was cruel, dude. It wasn't gonna win any Eisners, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I have almost a full run in trade and floppy.
See,
Yeah,
good shit.
I enjoyed it that much. But more specifically, do y'all remember the first story arc, the first couple of issues, and the origin of Alan Scott?
Not offhand, no. I
Uh,
did read it though.
okay,
I do.
so
I know where you're going with this.
yeah, so Brandon knows exactly what I'm talking about, and Josh, and for those of you who don't know or don't remember, Alan Scott, the Green Lantern on New 52 Earth 2, his ring was formed in much the same way as a train crash, but was formed by the green, as in the thing that gives the Swamp Thing his powers, like the thing, the force, the energy that exists within the earth, the green, the red, the raw, etc. It was the green on Earth 2 that gave Alan Scott his Green Lantern ring, much like Solomon Grundy was created by, I think it was the Rot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That I
so
remember.
yeah. So that being said, I'm thinking Hal's ring is somewhat tied to the green, as they're hinting at with the secret of the green, and it's clearly underground. Um, it's tied to the green.
I think it's okay. So I'll do it in reverse. I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in. I don't think it's tied to the green. Okay. I think, and this is gonna almost be like storyline cop out, but I think what we're gonna find out is that Hal is so is
Intrinsically,
so thank you. I couldn't get it out. That the Green Lantern that put Superman and Batman aside because those are debates all to hell. Can anyone really debate that Hal Jordan's mask is the pilot? I'm thinking that he is able to conjure up his own ring because of how much of a Green Lantern he is.
I mean that was basically the whole plot of the end of Hal Jordan Renegade as well, leading into the Hal and Pal's rebirth. He forged his own ring from his own willpower.
Yeah. And I think that something along those lines is what's going to be or have be behind him being able to form this new ring. Part of him, I'm going to assume that Manhunter Tech kind of played into it at the very least of giving him some sort of building material.
Yeah, like they blasted that green energy at him, and he has spent many years harnessing green energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't take it as much of a surprise that he was able to control it, considering not too long ago, like we said, he forged his own green ring from his own willpower.
Right.
So that didn't surprise me. But what's curious about all that is the fact that he can't leave the atmosphere. He's tied to the planet, and I think that's where the green comes in.
That is
Or
that does give it your theory some credence for sure.
Like there's also the if you remember, even in the end of Blackest Night and into Brightest Day, the entity existed within the Earth as well.
Oh, that's true.
The White Lantern entity, which was called the Entity. So it might also be tied to the green, because the green is all about life as well, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously the entity,
survival of the planet.
Yeah. And the entity is the embodiment of life. So it's all tied together.
Now, can I ask you guys a question? Rob, I haven't let you get your score yet out. But have we what's that?
I was going to say 9.5 out of 10, but I'll give it a 9. It's a 9.
Have we seen, forgive my shitty memory, but have we actually seen any of the lanterns get destroyed?
We saw the blue one at the beginning of this issue.
Oh, okay, the blue one. We saw it get destroyed.
I mean, we saw it explode, but we didn't really like. I'm not convinced it was destroyed. I think it was just taken.
That's what I think too. And there's some kind of, they're trying to merge them, maybe, or unify them in some way.
I don't know if it's so much merge them or unify them. I think they're pulling a Lara Fleas, collecting all the power batteries they can, so they can I get what you're like in a way connect them. Like they'll still all be standalone power batteries, but they'll be connected to the same like flow of energy, and that's why these new lanterns can use different colors.
Right. I don't know, man. Hot damn. All I know is it's got me invested like absolutely insane, crazy amounts.
Yeah.
Awesome story, awesome art. If you consider yourself even a minute Green Lantern fan, you've got to check this out.
Yeah.
Two things. First, in the first story, Dew of the Mountain. It clearly was not Mountain Dew, as Rob
No.
mentioned, so it must be Coors Light.
Those mountains are not green; they're blue.
Only when it's cold. And then before I get to the second part, are the clock on the cover? Is there anything y'all are picking up from that? I feel like
It's got this whole thing to do with the tagline "Countdown to Armageddon."
Oh,
I have
yes, Countdown
no
to
idea what
Armageddon.
that means.
But it's only got some of the numbers.
Yeah,
It's-
that's because
it's-
Hal's blocking the rest.
Well, I mean, one at the very least would be visible.
I mean,
Should
there's
be able
the
to see
the
some
sun.
of
The
two.
sun is shining on it. If you notice, the other numbers are in the dark part of the planet. Yeah,
That's true. That's true. All right, so there we go. Mystery solved. The second part, Kyle's back, baby. And that one doesn't change like Moon Knight did earlier. And it's damn good, Kyle, too. Loving the voice. The art is not hard to look at whatsoever. It was perfect for a small Kyle story. I'm just going to say that. Next month is Jessica Cruz. We're going to get to the bottom of the United Planets mystery one way or another. As long as it doesn't kill Kyle, Jess, or Joe, and they get to stick around, I'm going to be happy. The whole issue is good, y'all. You're really missing out as a Green Lantern fan, or just period on a Green Lantern story if you are not reading this. I gave it an 8.75 out of 10.
yeah. I suspect part 3 of this Kyle backup will be Simon will show up.
Perhaps. I hope so.
Yeah,
Man, you want to talk about Lantern that doesn't get any love.
That's because most of the Lantern community fucking hates him.
You know what? I'm bumping this up to a 9.
Hell yeah.
Big BC, where you at, man?
Yes. No, this issue was solid. Definitely enjoyed the main story. And interested to see where they go with this mysterious green, whether or not it actually is connected to the green that we know, or I don't know, some new definition of exists, or maybe it is actually related to the entity, like Rob said. Who knows? But yeah, no, solid stuff.
That would be something.
Honestly, the backup was kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't dislike it.
I get it though. I get it.
I just kind of thought it was a little bland. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
honestly can kind of agree.
Yeah, like it was fine, and it's nice to see Ron Mars do Kyle again, and I'm glad that they're trying to find something for him to do, but it just felt like, okay, I don't know how much you guys remember from the Green Lantern 80th anniversary special.
I've read it many times.
Maybe nothing. That's totally fine. But Ron Mars also had a story in there with Daryl Banks, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, reunion! Like, great to see them work together again." And that story was basically just this story, but not in the current continuity. Like it was almost exactly the same thing. It was just like, I was the torchbearer. I was there because no one else was there, and I did that and stuff. And I was like, yes, all that stuff is true. But like, I don't know. Like, I get that story is like, what, maybe 2-3 years old at this point. So I understand there's been time, and sure, you can make the point again. But I guess I was just expecting something new. Like, if we're going to talk about a new direction for Kyle or something to do, like, I don't need to hear the same thing over and over again, like my glory days are behind me. I was a torchbearer. Like he's like the drunk guy at the bar who keeps talking about his glory days. Just like,
True
all right,
story.
okay.
I was the
Yeah, it's
only
like,
Green Lantern in the universe.
back in
Did you
the
know
90s,
that?
I was hot shit. Like, okay, yes, I get it. You
Man,
said
you
that
should
many
have
times.
saw me.
I'm just like, all right, okay. Can we please say something new?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, it's fine, and it's great seeing Dale Eaglesham do Lantern stuff. He's always at the top of his game. But I was kind of disappointed. Like, I expected something more, and it just felt like we were doing the same shit again. So for that, I was a little disappointed, and honestly, the score kind of got knocked down for me. But aside from that, the main story is still interesting. So, there's good stuff there.
Wait, what was the score?
8.25.
Oh, okay. Now I honestly completely understand that. Like I was kind of feeling it a bit where, okay, this is just like Ron Mars recapping Kyle,
Mhm.
and like that's basically it. But what got me excited was the last like page or two with Joe, and that the
Yeah.
tease of more to come. Like it was that tease, and like, okay, now I know where Ron is going with this, and now I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like that's
And
ultimately what I enjoyed about it. But I completely
yeah,
agree.
and
Like the
and
first couple of pages was just like, okay, this is just a huge recap.
no, that was honestly that was how I felt too. Where it was like I was getting into it by the end, but then the story ended, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I was hoping for
I don't know.
more out of the backup, but I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the next two parts.
Yeah.
You're muted, Josh.
You know what?
No.
I'll just tell you after we do the top 3.
Okay. All right. So with that, it's time for top 3.
Deedly do. I guess I'll go first so the suspense doesn't have to build. First, let me do the top 3. This was a tough one, but third only got third because planetary. In third, I gave it to Red Hood. In number 2, we've got Outsiders, and number 1, it was Batman. Obviously, to find out why, you're just gonna have to trust us or listen to the bonus show. My favorite moment, it was emotional, it was written well, it was drawn fantastic. The whole thing was a chef's kiss, and that was seeing Kyle for the first time forever and seeing him talk to Alex. That was my favorite moment for sure.
Right on.
Uh,
The one you guys just shit all over.
It's fine. It's the same thing over again. Like, okay, again, like the only thing I can draw a comparison to is the drunk guy who's literally just like, I was a Green Lantern once, and I had great adventures once. I was the only one who ever, and it's like, oh my god, shut up. We heard that before.
We get
Do
it.
something else.
We
Right.
actually get one here in a little bit on the bonus show in Red Hood the Hill.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
True
Well,
story.
he wasn't drunk. Yeah, the guy who can't stop living in the past. Yeah.
All right, Brandon, what's your top 3?
Oh, let's see. Number 3, I had Green Lantern. Number 8. Number 2, I had Outsiders. Number 4. But number 1, I had to give to Batman and Robin. Number 6, which also had my favorite moment, which really anything from the whole exchange between Bruce and Damian. But I just loved they really committed to the bit, and they had that double page spread of the adventures of Damian Vane and the Prince of Crows.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that looks exactly like what a teenager would draw for their first comic.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
For me, I am going to put what was it? Yes, it's gonna be weird. Sinister Sun's number 1 at number 3. And for that, you got to figure out why, or you will hear why in the bonus show. Blue Beetle number 6 at number 2, and Green Lantern at number 1. As they both got my 9s. And favorite moments, I'm kind of torn between the revelation of a United Planet Lantern turning yellow and blue, but
Right.
more so when Jaime was able to stand up and activate legato mode. Every time I see him activate legato mode, I was like, yes,
yes,
battleizer, let's go kick his ass. So cool.
Like, oh, the story is ending now.
Yeah. Legato mode activated. Like, the 90s Power Rangers are so strong. Yeah. It just brings me that joy I had when I was like 10 years old watching it on fucking hell, what was it? Time Force? Power Rangers Time Force? Or maybe Lightspeed Rescue had one. I don't even remember which one I had. I think In Space had one. It was one of a giant fucking breastplate. It was really weird. Anyway.
Yeah, there's way too many Power Rangers series to even know. I'd not heard of any of the ones that you just mentioned.
Yeah. They were all like season 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so quite a while ago.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that is it.
Yeah, well, what were you gonna say?
About what?
You were saying something muted, and then you said you'll wait till the top 3.
Oh, that my favorite moment was the one y'all were pooping on.
Oh. Okay.
Like triumph the insult dog.
Yeah.
An excellent favorite moment for me to poop
The
on.
poop on. Fuck. He was hilarious.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time, same geek channel. Like we said, that is the show. So we're getting out of here. That means you have to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.